Welcome back to Wall again, and in this episode I'm going to be reviewing Abbey Road by the Beatles, one of the classic albums released by the Beatles throughout the 1960s. But before we get into that, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please hit the button now. If you could also like, comment and leave the notification bell, I'd really appreciate it. Okay, so let's dive in. Abbey Road is the 11th studio album by the Beatles, released on the 26th of September 1969. The album was recorded in Abbey Road Studios, obviously that's where the name came from, and also parts of it were recorded in Trident and Olympic Studios. Interesting fact, by the time the album was released, John Lennon had actually quit the Beatles, although this wasn't announced publicly until Paul McCartney left the following year. And the album cover is iconic. It features the four members of the Beatles walking across the zebra crossing on Abbey Road, and this has been imitated by many bands, movies and cultural figures throughout history. Abbey Road was recorded on 8-track reel-to-reel machines rather than the 4-track machines that were used for Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And this was the first Beatles album not to be issued in mono anywhere in the world. This was a stereo-only release album. So let's dive into the actual music. The first song, Come Together, was written primarily by John Lennon. It's got a fantastic riff, a fantastic groove, and there's some great lyrics in there. Track number 2 is Something. This one was written by George Harrison. He took inspiration from James Taylor's Something in the Way She Moves. Initially the song was given to Joe Cocker and he included it on his album Joe Cocker. Something was John Lennon's favourite song on the album and Paul McCartney considered it one of George Harrison's best. Song number 3 is Maxwell's Silver Hammer. John Lennon didn't perform on this one and he considered it more of Paul McCartney's granny music. Yes, that's granny as in grandmother music. Harrison said of this song, "We had to play it over and over again until Paul was happy with it. And in the end it was a drag." Longtime roadie of the band, Mal Evans, played the anvil in the chorus. Not the strongest song on the album. The next track, Oh Darling, was written by Paul McCartney. It's a decent song that was written in the Get Back sessions but was kept to be released on this album. The next track is Octopus's Garden. Lyrics on this one were written by Ringo Starr, and of course he sings lead vocal as well. Starr received a full songwriting credit, although the song's melodic structure was partly written by George Harrison in the studio. The next track is I Want You, She's So Heavy, written by John Lennon about his relationship with Yoko Ono. This song has a heavy progressive rock influence, repeating guitar riff and white noise generated by a Moog synthesizer played by John Lennon. During the final edit, John Lennon told the engineer to cut the song at exactly 7 minutes and 44 seconds. This created a sudden jarring silence, and that concludes the first side of Abbey Road. Side 2 is opened up by Here Comes the Sun, another George Harrison classic. This song is actually the most streamed song on Spotify by the Beatles. John Lennon was recovering from a car accident and didn't perform on this track at all. And George Martin included an orchestral arrangement in collaboration with George Harrison, and that was included on the track as well. Obviously Harrison sang lead vocals and played acoustic guitar. Paul McCartney provided backing vocals and bass, with Ringo Starr on drums. The next song is Because, and this features fantastic 3-part harmonies by George Harrison, John Lennon and Paul McCartney. These vocals were also triple tracked, which gave a total of 9 vocals on the song. The remainder of side 2 consists of a 16-minute medley of 8 tracks. These include Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Olden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and The End. And the last song on the album is called Her Majesty. It's a hidden track that's 24 seconds long. It was written by Paul McCartney and it wasn't listed on the original pressings in the UK or the US. All in all, I think this album is amazing. Probably the Beatles' best album. Fantastic songs in here, great songwriting, great instrumentation, great production by George Martin. In my opinion, one of the best albums ever recorded. Definitely a 10 out of 10. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you a fan of Abbey Road? And if you liked the video, I appreciate if you hit like, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll always be kept up to date. I'll add links to some other videos here if you like this one, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye now.